Hey guys, this is Jackson Bear One, and I am back with the first episode and preview of my football weekly show. Now, um, let me tell you how football for me began. It began when I was in 8th grade, second week in the school. There was nothing to do except play football, so I went up there to play football just because, and I got interested into it, and I decided that it was fun for me, so then came home, told everyone that I was into football, and they were all excited for me. And so I was still raw as a football fan, though. Didn't watch much games, and didn't watch much Tennessee games. Um, didn't watch much Titan games. 2011, that same year, which 2011 was the first year I got into football 2 years ago, and And so then, last year I was all into football. Watched almost every Tennessee game except for the ones I couldn't watch because they weren't on TV. And as for the Titans, I went to almost every home game. I went to 5 of them, but I didn't go to 3 of them. I missed the New England game, the Detroit game, and the Jacksonville game. And this year, I'm hoping that all my favorite teams can improve. But every time I have an episode, I'll talk about each team post-game, pre-game, and post-game. Pre-game, post-game, and during the game. Anyways, first let's begin with the Titans. I'll also be telling a story about every team as well. Here's the Titans. Well, the Titans, I've been into the Titans ever since my stepdad moved to town and became a part of the family. Because originally he liked the 49ers and Oakland Raiders in California, and then for his college teams he liked UCLA and Stanford. But he got into the Titans, and it was the best time to become a Titans fan because that's when the Titans were good and all. But so here's the Titans talk right now. Well, last year they crashed at 6-10 after a year after going 9-7 and bounced back turnaround year. And this year they went absolutely crazy in free agency, signing a bunch of free agents and all. And I'm hoping that they could be an improved team. I mean, Chris Johnson, Titans looked great in the first preseason game, and of course they opened up the regular season against our arch rival Pittsburgh Steelers. And that's going to be a bad game because the Steelers are going to be seeking revenge on us because last year we ended the 3-game slide they originally had against the Steelers. And it's going to be a different season for the Titans, but it'll be something to look forward to. Now on to the Vols. The Vols are a different story. I've liked them ever since I was born. And I did watch all the Tennessee games last year, the only ones that are on TV. And I have good hopes for Tennessee this season with Butch Jones, which I just show you to you right now. In this picture right here, I actually met Butch Jones in Nashville at the Tennessee Sports Fest, right there. And I forgot to show it to you guys, but last week when I was at Titans training camp, or 2 weeks ago, my friend and I met Justin Hunter, the former Vol, current Titan. Alright. Well, the Vols is like a Titans, except the Vols went crazy in recruiting, getting a bunch of guys, stealing them from powerhouse schools like Alabama, Georgia, Florida, and some other teams, which I'm glad for. And I just like the Titans out to see how they do out this season. I mean, they open up against a cream puff team, the Austin Peay Governors, which is the same college where my mom went to. And just to see how it turns out. I'm hoping for a bowl game return this year out of Tennessee. Now on to my last team. The Bears. Well, I don't have a cap, just a beanie. It's like a Titans cap. It's been collecting dirt. I mean, it's collecting dust and hair because of football season not being around. And the Bears. Here's my story. I got into them the same year I got into football, and the reason I like that was because it looked like a good team to root for, and I watched highlights of the '85 Bears, and it looked amazing with Mike Ditka, Walter Payton, and everyone else. And I got into it, and I'll be wearing this jersey tonight as they play the San Diego Chargers, the San Diego Suck Chargers. This Mike Ditka jersey that I got that same year when I got into football, it's for me. And I glad for that. And the Bears play tonight on Thursday night preseason football. It's going to be on ESPN, Monday Night Football's station, which they'll be playing the Suck San Diego Chargers, the terrible Chargers, who I hate so much as a Titans fan. And it's going to be good that they're hosting it, because the last time I played the Chargers, it was in Chicago 2 years ago, the same year I got into football. Cutler broke his thumb that game and was out for the rest of the year. That sucked as a Bears fan. Now, there's been changes. Both coaches who were on San Diego and Chicago last year, and that same year, 2011, they're not there. Mike McCoy's in San Diego, and Mark Trestman's in Chicago, which I'm hoping that the offensive line can do better for the Bears, because the Chargers have an average defensive line, except for Dwight Freeney and some other guys. But hoping good for the Bears. I mean, they open up their season against Cincinnati Bengals in Chicago, but it's going to be a little hard one because the Bears, as I said just now, have a terrible offensive line, and the Bengals have a good defensive line. And that's going to be tough. But now here, well, I'm going to go ahead and end it for now. And I'll see you guys when the game is underway. Thank you. But before I go and cut it, I'll go ahead and put my Bears jersey on, then cut it. The Bears.